Yeah, man. Unfortunately, black people were always cleaning shit up. You know, if you go back to the one of the original one when Britain came back and burned down the White House,
Mm.
black people cleaned that shit up. And now you go back today, a lot of those people that clean up the Capitol and things like that, that's black people. And so they're gonna
Yeah.
be cleaning that shit up in a COVID world on top of it.
But that's what I mean, to me, yes, it's true. It's like, so somehow in the sickest of all times, and yet still
Yeah,
we somehow still survive. But I mean, once again, I think that ties into a lot of history. Now, some people will be like, oh, here we go again. But it's like, even before slavery, like, you need to really do your history and really look back into the cases of how Africa was unified, then became literally just got torn apart from the inside out. And it literally goes so deep. So we don't have to kind of cover that, because it's, once again, it's its own thing. It's fun I thought it was fun, and it was quite a good journey to go through. But I mean, look, there's so much that we do. I mean, we created toilets because we was fed up with crapping in holes,
yeah,
right? We created air conditioning because we was fed up of being hot all the time.
yeah.
And the list goes. We created, like, there's no way on this planet that some white guy from Kentucky with a beard is going to create 10 secret herbs and spices to make some tasty tasting chicken. Now, some people be like, oh no, as I said, no. The difference is when you patent something,
Right.
and that's what I've never appreciated. Is if you patent, we can create something, but if someone else patents it, suddenly they own what you have done. However, we still make and create. Perfect example again, hip hop. Like we was talking with Raheem on episode 1, which is coming soon. They had nothing, and they created something from that. That's what we do.
Yeah,
I
we do.
mean, it's the same way where we can't afford, and it still goes on in a lot of senses of poverty now, I guess, because there's so much of a necessity of materialism, and the fact that you can get bullied for not having in this day and age, which is that's the nastiest side of everything here. So you feel in a way, and that's what causes a whole heap of additional depression, anxiety, or even realizing that you are poor. Because when you speak to people from like our generation and a bit before, you never knew that you were poor. You guys just knew you were living and you're surviving. And it wasn't until we have screens put in front of us to let us know this is what you can get, then all of a sudden these things now become very detrimental to how people want to live and go about and survive. But I mean, if you think about some of my fondest memories as a kid, was literally because of the area I was in. I was, fortunate. We had parks we could go to. We had like rivers where we could literally not play in the rivers, because you ain't coming home anyway soaked in that river junk, because you're gonna get your ass whooped, like, no question about it. But at the same time, we created. We'll play kickball in the park, or even if it wasn't, you'll play tag, or you play roller skate hard, or you'll cycle your bikes, or you be out, you're interacting, because I come from a generation where you couldn't even save your computer games. So once your game is done, your game is done. If you can't get past a certain level, stop getting frustrated. You go out, and I remember having to knock on doors. Do you think you can knock on people's doors randomly now and say, I was in the neighborhood, I just wanted to check up on you? People, especially where you guys are, people are looking at the side of the curtain like, who that?
Yeah, totally facts. But no, you're right. But unfortunately, that's the dynamic we live in. And the one thing that we have to realize that we haven't unbagged 2020 yet. And before you can move on to 2021, we got to have open conversations about what we're talking about now, and how mentally COVID and just the numerous people that died in 2020 has a mostly taken toll on everybody.